G'day guys, bit of a longer video today, but if you stay tuned to the end, there's a bit of a grafting demonstration. I'm having a go at grafting into one of these long minis. But anyway, before I get to that, I'll just set the scene a bit. I'm making up a couple of splits in these two 6-frame boxes. So this long mini is the first one I put in the long configuration. So it's had plenty of time to build up nice and strong. And I'm going to take a couple of frames of brood away from it today and a few young bees. Now I don't want to take the queen away, so I'm having a good look through and seeing if I can spot the queen. Now it's pretty hard to miss the queen when they're on these little frames, so I am going to take out a frame of brood here shortly, even though I haven't seen the queen yet. So I'm making up two splits. Now one of them I'm going to put a queen in today in the same yard. So I need lots of bees in there because some of the bees will fly back to this original hive. So I'm going to shake lots of young bees in this first split. So this is a sort of frame of brood that I need. Mainly capped brood. Bit of honey and a bit of pollen. It's good for a new split, something like that. So that's the first one I'll put in there, but you can see there's not a whole lot of bees on that frame, so I'll need to shake in a few more. And then the other split I'm making across the table there is, I don't actually need any bees in there. What I'm doing is I'm converting a commercial mini into one of these homemade ones. So I'm going to use the bees out of the commercial mini and shake them into that box. So there, see, I'm putting a frame of brood in there with no bees at all. Might be a little bit confusing, but if you bear with me, it might make sense more as we go along. So I see the queen there on that frame, so I'll sit her aside in the shade there, and now I can shake a few more bees into that split. That's all I need out of this one. Now I've made up these foundation frames. I've got a nice big piece of wax foundation and the sidebar is already attached. So I think the bees will like them and build on them pretty well. So I'll just close those splits up for now. So I need to put this box away and get another one. So you've seen this long mini, this is the second one. You've seen this one before, it's the one that had the redback spider sitting on the back of it a few weeks ago. So the same thing here, I just need a nice frame of brood for each of these boxes, and I'll take a few young bees out of here as well. Just having a good old look for the queen. I'm going to take the punt that she's not on there and put it in there, in the split. I'm just having a good old look through. Now I've found the queen there. So I know she's right near the front there, so I can come towards the back of that long mini I know she's not on this frame either, so I can take the bees off that one, and I'll use that in the other split, and I'll just take a few more bees. This is a very strong hive, this long mini, so I know I can take a few bees out of there and it won't hurt it one bit. 2 frames of foundation there for them to work on, and that's finished for that one. So I've got the 3rd one here now, and I'm going to do the same thing. Now I decide with this one I'm going to go right through until I find the queen. I really don't want to make a mistake and put her in the split, so I'm going to go through now and keep going until I find her. That's a nice little comb that'll fit beside the feeder, so I just use that one there. It's got a few bees on it and a little bit of honey. And then that one there can go right at the front of the original hive there. Just a bit of side attachment. Now there's a little frame of brood, but it's all open brood. It's not what I want. So I'll leave that one there. It hasn't got sidebars, but I'll deal with that another time. Just focused on making these splits for today. So yeah, I'm just scanning through looking for the queen. Just working my way through the box. Looking over each frame. There's plenty of nice little frames of brood to choose from to make splits. So there she is. I end up finding her right at the back of the hive. But I'm glad I've seen her now because I can go ahead with this split. So there's a good frame of brood to go in that one. There's plenty of bees in there crawling around, so I'm pretty happy I've made a good split there. And then the 3 frames there without bees for that other split I'm making. Just one little foundation in the front there, and that split's finished now. So you're probably wondering what queen I'm going to use in that split. Well, this old queen that I call the Supersedure Queen, I'm going to use her. I went in this hive the other day and found a couple of queen cells. So I think they're planning on raising a new queen and getting rid of this old queen. And I don't want to lose her. She comes from a very good queen breeder, so I'm going to take her out of here and put her in that split. So at the front of this hive there's just a frame of honey. A couple of frames of honey there actually. So there she is there, the old queen. So I'm just going to put her in a queen cage and then put her in that split that I just made. So I'll just pick her up by the wings. Got her there by both wings on both sides. Then just put her in the cage like that with the finger over the top. Then when she's out of the way, click the doors shut. You don't want to catch her feet or legs in the door, so make sure she's out of the way when you shut the cage. So I'll just set this frame in and put this back together in a moment. I'll just check, this was a frame of foundation 2 days ago, so they've done lots of work to that. Very keen to build comb this hive. I just want to check these queen cells before I take the queen away. So there they are. They've got eggs in them. So they're definitely there, ready to build a queen. So that's fine. I'm not going to try and work against them and take those cells down. I'll just let them build a queen, and I'll use the queen somewhere else, the old queen. I'm just taking a frame of honey and the queen cage, and I'll go over to this split. So here we are at the split I just made with all those young bees. So you can see there's plenty of bees in there. Some of these will still fly back to their original hives, but I'm hoping most of them will stay there. Just shake the bees off that foundation, and I'll put this frame of honey in there. I've just got the queen cage sitting at the top there. This way I can just peek in the lid and see whether the queen's been released or not. I'll keep an eye on things over the next few days and see when she gets released. They're not paying her much attention yet. That's alright, I'll get back to doing what I'm doing and leave them alone. So now I'm back to this hive where I just took the queen out. So this is a queenless hive now. So what I'm going to do is do a little experiment with grafting. And I want to use the genetics from this queen, so I'll just go through here and find some nice young larvae to graft. There isn't a lot of open brood in this hive at the moment. No brood on that frame. But here's the frame here that I want. Towards the bottom of the frame there's some young brood. You might just get a glimpse of it here. You'll see some nice young pearly white brood in the bottom of the cells there. So what I've done is I've made up this little mini cell bar. So these are queen cups that I graft into, and that's just going to hang in there like that. I took that frame of honey away, so I've got one spare position in this hive. So here's my little grafting tool. Now always check that the button's working. Sometimes you get a larvae on the end and then you figure out that the button's not working, so just give it a test run. So I start out trying to graft with my veil on, which is getting in the way of the shot there, and I do get the first couple of larvae out with my veil on, but it took a while. It was very difficult. It's just a fine little reed on the end there, and you just scoop out the smallest larvae you possibly can, and then push it off into the cup there. But I decided to take my veil off. These bees aren't being aggressive at all, and that makes it 10 times easier to see what I'm doing. achieve what I'm trying to achieve. So there I've got a little larvae there. Put it straight in the cup. Now they say not to do this out in the sunlight because it overheats the larvae and dries them out and etc. But it's a pretty cool day and I'm just trying to be as quick as I can and get it straight back in the hive. So I've done 4 there now. Now you can clean off the reed in your mouth. You can just clean anything off with your tongue. That's fine. Helps to moisten it a bit. So I like to put it under the larvae, then give it a little turn. Just helps to scoop the larvae off the bottom of the cell. So I'll try and show you what I'm doing with this next one. Scoop it up there. I've got it on the tip there. Now just place it in the bottom of the cup and push it off with the plunger. You can look up grafting videos on YouTube. I'm not trying to make a grafting video, I'm just showing you what I'm doing. And then just place it in there. And put that frame with the open brood right next to it, so the nurse bee should be in this part of the hive. And close it up and put it back in the position. So I'm a bit curious as the day goes on, and a couple of hours later I decide to go back in and check and try and determine whether the grafts have been accepted, because if they haven't I can easily redo them. So what I'm hoping to see is a whole heap of bees hanging off this cell bar, and hopefully they've started feeding the larvae. So yeah, there's a few bees there paying it plenty of attention. I'd be worried if there wasn't any bees on it. And you can see they've just started to build wax around the rim of some of these cells. Now I can't get a good shot of the larvae, but they're actually looking pretty dry. The larvae themselves are still there, but they haven't really fed them much, which is a bit of a concern, but I'll have to check back in a few days, and in a day or two, and see what they've done. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll post another video on how it turns out.